Hey, hello and welcome back once again to Cauldrons of War Stalingrad, where I'm playing as the Soviets this time. Last episode we saw the opening stages of Case Blue start and us retreating from the Kharkov Pact and stuff like that. We already saw that the Germans eliminated Sevastopol's navy. Now, interestingly enough, even now the Germans are able to capture Sevastopol before historical dates, so all that stuff is pretty interesting. They continue to be able to do deep raid, interestingly, here as well. I mean, now that I've done this defensive withdrawal, maybe no longer. I'm not too sure. Germans continue to do nothing in this area for now. I know that they might actually go to Milarovo from here at some point, but we'll see here. So they killed 28th Army. They lost one artillery, hedgehog defense, and then refitted. Well, first of all, let's get 13th Army out. And let's see, because Brienne's front is also this. Seems like they just straight up killed 3rd Army out of nowhere. So let's dig in a little bit more and then just do a retreat with these. Basically, the retreat is so fast that the enemy infantry units are largely outrun, but apparently we also lose an infantry, well, that's fine. And in the west, they smashed with the 9th Army again. 31st lost tank and artillery. Again, I don't think I have any reserves here, except for some artillery, indeed. And I already have air control. But interesting that I still lose aircraft, even though I have air superiority. That barely ever happens with the Germans. Oh, they lost one truck. It's not interesting at all, indeed. Kalinin has nothing to reinforce with. Best thing I can do is shelling. They have 2 infantry, though. They attack the 11th, but that doesn't do anything. Not really. 11th is the most powerful army, though. At least they have most artillery. I'll do another shelling. Didn't do anything against the Azul infantry. And at Volkov, they attacked into 8th Army. Didn't do anything. They lost an artillery. Either way. And then, of course, at Leningrad, I could do a night attack. I have Crimea, but I can't do anything at Crimea. I cannot do anything at Southwestern Front either, except try to claim this unit. Right. And I could refit too, I suppose. Right, let's just forget about that. 25th, the enemy's plans unveiled. A German liaison plane which crashed behind our lines provided us with unexpected loot. The enemy attacked plants in the Voronezh region. According to these plans, the enemy will attack much further south than expected. Comrade Stalin is convinced that this is a crude deception maneuver. But General Golikov, in charge of the Bryansk front, is worried and demands not only additional reinforcements, but also the authorization to cancel the offensive the Stavka is planning towards Orel. The Bryansk front gains 2 command points for 3 turns. 2 units in the Voronezh region gain the exposed flank straits. Focus on Moscow increased by 15, but we know that they're going to go towards the south. So Golikov gets to take a defensive stance. But what are the Germans doing? We were expecting the Germans to assault Voronezh, but their units seem to skirt this prime objective. Okay. And following the Don east. The Stavka is bewildered. What are the fascists looking for in the fast empty Don steppe? Is their southern maneuver towards Moscow much wider than we imagined? Step by step, the enemy's intentions are emerging, and they are surprising. The focus on Moscow decreased by 25. What could they be looking for? Flee or hold. The German offensive in the south is larger than expected, and our troops are at risk of being trapped in large encirclements like last year's. Timoshenko and Moskalenko have started giving orders to withdraw their units, which have already started retreating east and south. Vasilevsky urges Stalin to formalize these movements by declaring a general retreat. But where could such a retreat end? In the bare steppe, with the mobile units of the Wehrmacht on their tail? If we do a general retreat, then Soviet units from the southern and southwestern fronts are retreating. These units lose 2 cohesion points. These operations are no longer considered to be castles if they were, and these operations progression increased by 20%, or we hold on at all costs. Soviet units from the southern and southwestern fronts gain 1 cohesion point, and units from these fronts which are not in reserve are either pinned or gain the exposed flank trait. Let's just do the general retreat. Let's start here. They again did an airlift and then attack with Gruppe Mattenklot, which did nothing. Which is excellent because it pins the Germans 1 more turn in the Crimea area. That's part of the south. Now, all of these guys are already retreating. Let's get the most powerful of them into the strategic reserve. So they can retreat. And then in here, let's read these things actually here. First, the road to Rostov, we already had that. Then this operation, race along the Don. With the Don River on their left to guard their flank, the German troops are racing across the steppe to trap as many Soviet armies as possible in a large pocket in the river loop. There's a 6th Army, 1st Panzer and 4th Panzer there, conveniently. How does it happen that the AI does exactly get the troops they want there? Oh well, that's fine. Then beyond the Sosno River, I would also need to send something there. South has, yeah, retreated 2 units. Let's send this to the south. Now, in the southwest, let's see, these guys, I don't know what their situation is. Let's just actually start up north. So at Leningrad, we, I think, should just be doing a night attack. Then at Volkov, they attack with the 28th, but it didn't do that much. How powerful are the units in reserve, by the way? Because then I might actually send them up. Barely any artillery. But I did get a lot of extra stuff in case I need that. Wow, that's some good shelling there. Air superiority went to the Axis in the northwestern front. With the weather being bad currently, or apparently, that's not necessarily such a big problem, but they lose one artillery. How about the Canadian front? Do they have something? They did not receive anything. Technically, I can always ask for it, but... £46 score, attack the 39th Army. Making me lose one infantry. I only have artillery in reserve still. In the west, and these are pretty weak. Hopefully at least it will exhaust their forces a little bit too. Alright, so at the Bryansk front, they just continue to kill my armies left and right. With 2nd Panzer every single turn. But they are already as powerful as they can possibly be. And I do need to send a unit to beyond the Sosna. 6th Army. Now in here I'm just inclined to let them progress. So as for southwest, what I'll do is I'll just refit some units here. Says my unit's in a poor state. The fall of Sevastopol. Sevastopol has fallen, but this defeat is not like the others. The fierce resistance of the city's defenders made this fight a heroic example. Propaganda has done its work, and everyone knows the exploits of the sniper Lyudmila Pavlichenko, or of the sailors girded with grenades throwing themselves under the Panzer's tracks. But, more importantly, many officers were evacuated by submarines. Their experiences in urban fighting will undoubtedly be useful on other occasions. An impossible mission. The Stavka is determined to liquidate the enemy forces north of Orel in what they call the Zizdrabolkov enemy group. But the question arises, are we not acting too hastily? Some defeatist-minded officers not only point out that the 72 hours left for General Zhukov to launch this offensive is a ridiculous preparation time, but also that no one has verified that the stockpiles of ammunition were sufficient for this offensive. In addition, the enemies have spent months fortifying this area. They will not be taken by surprise. General Zhukov is not a man to procrastinate. If attacking immediately will disrupt the left wing of the German offensive further south, why wait? The operation towards Orel is transformed into assault if it was not active. Bryansk front gains 1 command point. Units fighting towards Orel can use human waves next turn. Or, attacking for weeks, the units on the operation towards Orel gain 1 point of cohesion and ammunition. The units of this operation lose 2 fatigue. The units are pinned. Bryansk front will gain 2 command points on July 30th. If Golikov was yet on the offensive, Bryansk front loses 2 command points. Trap at Milarovo. The enemy's intentions are confirmed. He's trying to surround as many of our units as possible before they can take refuge beyond the Don. Significant enemy forces have just turned in the direction of Milarovo to close the trap. The German effort seems to be turning towards Rostov. Decreased focus on Moscow by 15 points. They did another deep raid, airlift, deep raid, airlift. But they have not... What? Where are they? Okay. This is a bit weird. So let's start just in Leningrad. Go to Volkov. They just refitted 28th. Axes are losing some stuff there. Then they attacked with the 10th Corps into the 34th Army. Which... Okay, I have some stuff in the northwest now, so I can actually refit them. Back up to good strength. Kalinin front, still nothing. But then again, also not a whole lot was happening there so far. Western front, 46th smashed into the 33rd Army. That's all they did. So that it doesn't really help me at that point. Let's just do a shelling and then a refit to at least get their organization back up. Bryansk front on this one, nothing happened, and then here not much either. It might be that they just shuffled some units around or something. I can't know for sure, but that means that at least for the Bryansk front, how many planes do you have? 3. First of all, let's entrench you, defense in depth. And here, do I have troops actually? No, I have nothing. Let's send out the 13th Army. Alright, then Cox's front is just gone. It's just okay. Now, just so weird that these units are gone. Like, but there we go, that's the south. We still have the southwestern front with the 6th Army there. I'm actually inclined to send these guys to race along the Don and then dig them in, and then we'll see what the 6th Army is going to do. They might need at least a turn in order to get things going again. We'll see. The 9th. Leningrad is dying. We can never be satisfied with the status quo in the north, as the situation of Leningrad's people deteriorates every day. Without electricity and with food heavily rationed, the population is going through a nightmare. The last cats and dogs have been eaten long ago, and hordes of hungry rats are swarming the city with impunity. It may not be long before the first cases of cannibalism appear. We cannot sit back and watch the city suffer. Until we can mount a major offensive, we must put the fascists under constant pressure. Volkov and Northwestern fronts gain +1 command point. Alright. Now they have a bunch of troops back here in the Kurch offensive. Super weird. But let's start at Leningrad once again with another night attack. Now at Volkov, 1st Corps attacked 8th Army, losing 1 artillery, which kind of sucks. Do I have additional artillery there? Yes, I do. And a lot of infantry too. I don't need that infantry. The weather is a bit better now to at least gain disputed in air superiority, and we only have artillery here. Technically, I could claim more reinforcements for the northwestern front, but it's not that necessary. They lose 1 artillery. Again, it's something. Most often nothing happens, but I would at least like to keep the pressure going even now. 39th lost some, but nothing too interesting. Got 1 infantry back. Now the Bryansk front still has this and this. Again, 2nd Panzer Army attacks. We lose quite a bit on the 49th. What else do I have for Bryansk? Nothing. So I'd better just get them out. Strategic reserve. These forces in pretty deplorable state. I'd rather keep them in reserve for now and just refit the 48th, even though it only gives them cohesion. Now, as for this, the German army attacked into the 6th Reserve Army. That didn't do anything. Sent it to reserve, then they refitted it, then they put it back to the front, then they attacked again onto the 6th Reserve Army. This time that did do something. I lost a bunch of stuff. They attacked again. I lost a lot more, and then they did an air bombardment. Yeah, let's try to retreat. I'm a bit surprised they did such a number on them. It stopped them only for a turn. That kind of sucks. Enemy did nothing on the road to Rostov. I mean, it's already retreating. I cannot get it off the map. So, I guess I can not sure why I cannot refit 12th Army. How much do I have anyway? No additional units. So guess they just retreat. July 16th. Again, let's start in Leningrad with our most powerful unit. Do a night attack. They attacked, we just lost that, which is fine. Northwest. Azul attacking into 34th, not doing anything. Kalinin. West. It's not too bad. One artillery. What's this group aspect? What did they attack again? Third. Bryansk front down here, nothing happening. Here, 2nd Panzer only 2 cohesion against 48th Army. At least I can just refit them. Bryansk, of course, doesn't really have a whole lot, but they have the... what I needed to do is move you to the front and then just entrench. I guess they completed that operation. I cannot click it, but southwest, they killed this unit. And then they sent a bunch of units to race along the Don. Now we have the Stalingrad front here. That's new. I'll have to reorganize you. Apparently they don't have that much stuff. They have planes, but that's about it. Refitting them again is the only thing I can do really here, unless I want to send something from the south. Maybe I do. They just killed this unit and then they advanced up to 99. 4th Panzer not doing amazingly. Is it disputed here? It's Axis air superiority. Right. I was thinking about bombing them, but then let's not. I guess I will put the 12th to the Stalingrad front. Refitting the 56th is all I can do at that point, and then I don't know why I cannot. These guys are also in reserve all the time. There must definitely be something wrong with them. Right. Maskirovka. There we go. 23rd. of July, the PQ-17 is lost. PQ-17 convoy, which left Iceland on June 27th, was practically wiped out by the joint action of German submarines and planes. Of the 35 Allied convoy ships that sailed out to aid us, only 11 managed to make it. The materials we were waiting for will never arrive. These are 3,350 trucks, 430 tanks, 210 planes, and 100,000 tons of general cargo, which were thus sent to the bottom of the ocean. Churchill has announced that the next convoy, the PQ-18, will not sail through Murmansk, but will be directed towards the Persian Gulf. This longer route through Iran is not yet fully operational. Bad news never comes alone, and Churchill informed us that there will be no Allied landing in Europe in 1942. Alright, Leningrad again. Night attack. Volkov front. Axis air superiority. 1 against 3 planes. We have still 6. It sucks, but at least then it's disputed. I tend to just generally do shelling here in most of these locations. Just to try and weaken the Axis already a little bit, and they might have to, you know, use spare artillery and stuff like that. At that point at least. And since I don't really have stuff to reinforce some of these, back in the 39th, hey. Can't really do a whole lot else. Sosna, there's nothing. And then here they attack the 48th Army, losing tanks, infantry, cohesion. I have nothing. Let's get them out. On the southwestern front, I have the 9th Romanian Cavalry Division here. And then there's this. The Don Loop. Let's just read these out for a bit. So southwestern front here. The constitution of bridgeheads beyond the Don enabled the Red Army to pose a permanent threat to the flanks of the Wehrmacht. And we have the Don Loop. Beyond the Chir River extends the Loop of Don, the last barrier before reaching Stalingrad. The terrain is favorable to an encircling maneuver, which would close at the town of Kalach. We now also have the race to the Terek, with 1st Panzer Army progressing 1. That's weird. And 4th Panzer Army going to conquest of the Kuban. Just moving through. Cox's front has this now. I have only the 17th Kuban Cossack Cavalry Corps at the moment to potentially try and hold them there. The southern front is tasked with the Terek operation. Race to the Terek. We'll see what 1st Panzer can do there. This is already remote operations, I think. That's just step. I'll see, maybe they can delay them at least quite a bit. That's the south. Stalingrad front, there is nothing in here now, in the Dawn loop. They have no troops. Let's send at least you to the Stalingrad front. And dig in those guys. And at the southwestern front, I will send these to the Bukhara bridgehead. Because if they only leave the Romanian cavalry division, that's not a good idea. For the Caucasus, I have 8 planes. I don't need to do that here. But refitting is also no longer used, so I can only do Maskirovka. Nishagunazad. As the enemy progresses deeper into our territory, troop morale threatens to collapse. Desertion, self-harm, and other cases of betrayal are on the rise, and threats are no longer sufficient to control an army in decomposition. Until where do they think they can flee? In an order read to all the troops, Stalin frankly addresses the soldiers, describing to them the shame they inspire on the population and insisting on the economic imperatives. It is necessary to stop saying that we can retreat indefinitely. We have no more human reserves than the Germans, and no more bread reserves either. Not one step back. This must now be our slogan. While the text then insists heavily on the severe disciplinary measures to be implemented, it is above all the pride of the soldiers that have been awakened. There's a lot of cohesion and more barbarity. Operation Nordlicht. Important German reinforcements have just arrived in the north. The enemy will undoubtedly try to take Leningrad and make a junction with the Finns. Army Group North plus 2 command points, and important German reinforcements are available in the reserves of Army Group North. Leningrad must stand fast. A dagger pointed at Moscow. Stalin's full attention is turned to the Rzhev salient, an area of just under 200 kilometers, where heavily entrenched Germans are preparing to march on Moscow. These forces must be undermined before they are ready to attack. We must attack and, if possible, reduce or eliminate this salient. This major offensive should also force the Germans to ease their pressure on the south. Western Front 3 command points, Galena Front 2, Bryansk Front 1 for this turn only. The Bryansk Front gains 2 command points if an offensive towards Oral had been activated. The operation of the 2 Jaws against the salient of Rzhev are activated. If they were not, the Southwestern Front lose 2 command points. 2 Rzhev, then 2 Smolensk. The Soviet offensive. The Soviet offensives in the north and center achieved little other than appalling carnage. In the shadow of the battles of Stalingrad and Operation Uranus, these operations appear to have become forgotten battles. As a Soviet player, you may find these operations very frustrating, and I doubt knowing that historically the Soviets have achieved little will console you. Keep in mind that even your attacks that seem ineffective increase the tiredness attrition of your opponent. Your objective here is to grind down your opponent over several months until his defensive lines break apart. Take the time to prepare your offensives by supplying enough units and systematically set up barrier troops. Once ready, try to sustain non-stop offensives for several weeks. If ever the enemy breaks, he may not have enough units left to prevent you from taking many objectives. We already read that. There we go. Let's start again here at Leningrad. Where I'll just again do a night attack. They don't seem to be at breaking point yet, and most likely they will maybe even never come. 28th attacking. Do I get reinforcements? Yeah, I do have them at Volkov. But it seems at least that I need to ask for them at the other locations. I got an infantry, that's nice. Northwest, they tucked into the 11th. They lose one artillery for the Azul infantry. Alright. Kalinin front. It's interesting that I can no longer rail them at the front here. Let's put at least a 22nd in reserve for now. Oh, okay. And I actually want to claim reinforcements. Western Front let 2 gun points. That was exactly what I did not need. But oh well. In the west, 46 Panzer Corps attacking again. Me losing an infantry. Now that's an actual offensive. I cannot actually restore them on the front itself. Well, the 9th Army is losing something. At least. Obviously not attacking. Brienne's front, 2nd Panzer did shelling with tremendous losses as an effect. And nothing happened here. Bryansk has no reinforcements. Defense, or there we go, entrenchment, defense in death. That's it for Bryansk. Southwestern front has only this. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. 6th Army is attacking 12th Army. Just dead now. That went pretty fast. So let's just see here. First, they just progressed here with 4th Panzer up to the battle for Makeup. The Kuban River and the towns of Krasnodar and Armavir guarding it make formidable line of defense. The last obstacle between the Wehrmacht and the rich oil fields of the Caucasus. Alright, this is where I want to try and get air superiority first. And I'll start digging in some units. The south has only this here. It's the defense in depth. And I'll send the 46th Army to the Stalingrad front. And for now, I'll just allow these guys to advance once again for a turn. Refitting these troops also doesn't really help. So there's that. But I see my time is up though for now, so I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please do consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters, Spoon Rao, Dungeon Pastor, CD Data, Swords, Mandingo, and Thomas Lafferty. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.